I don't know if you can see that green seal in there, but that's what's leaking, I'm sure. I was out cutting a tree down, pushing it into a pile, and I busted a seal in this cylinder. This is a John Deere 955 with a 70A loader. I'm going to go ahead and take this cylinder off, take it apart, and if it's cheap enough, I'll let the hydraulic business in this area replace those seals. If it's too expensive, I'll go ahead and order the seals and do it myself. But I thought I'd bring you along and show you how I do it. First thing I'm going to do is remove the hydraulic lines. Then there's a cotter key, and then I can slide this pin out and get this cylinder out. One at the top, and one at the bottom on the bucket here. Now I can just push this pin out. There we go. And push this pin out. And we'll take this over to the workbench, tear it down. Alright, we'll take the snap ring pliers and squeeze that together. These are not a good pair of snap ring pliers. Here we go. It's not hard. You just need a good snap ring tool. I'm going to put this in the vise. And I'm going to get some fluid coming out here. So I'm going to pull it back slow. Ha! Okay, I got it all out now. Now some of these will have an internal snap ring. This particular one does not have that, so I'm just going to pop it off. But you want to make sure, some of them you need a special tool, and you got to tap that in and then put that, it's like a shim that you have to put in there, and then it'll allow you to pop that ring past that. So you want to check that out, make sure what kind you have. There we go. That's all there is to it. And here's the parts we got to change out. You want to keep everything clean. I think there's 6 seals on this one. We got to take this nut off the end here. And this nut is 1 1/8 inch. No. We got the compressor up to 110 psi. This isn't the best gun though, but got it. Woo. And you can use your socket, and if you need to, put a pipe on the end of it. Anyway, so now we pull this off. This bevel side goes into the shaft. And then the piston here. I don't know if you can see that green seal in there. But that's what's leaking, I'm sure. Anyways, I'm going to take it over to the hydraulics shop. I found a kit for this for 25 bucks. I don't know how good the seals are. But if they'll do that for around that, having this all apart, that'd be great. Goes like this on there. And if not, I'll order the kit. And we'll walk through it together. Okay, before we go any further, you're going to have to identify what type of cylinder that you have to know what parts the seal kit to get. And stamped on your cylinder will be a John Deere part number, and this one is AW28950. So I talked to John Deere and also did some work online, and for that you need kit AM118390. Now there's all kinds of kits available. They range in price from $25 up to $200, and I'll put a link at the bottom of the video for you to look at ones online. For instance, for this wiper seal, the John Deere parts, and you'll see when I take the old one out, it has a metal backing that's pressed in. Well, this one didn't come with it. I see they engineered some notches in here. I don't know how that's going to hold up, but my tractor isn't used every day, and so I didn't need to spend a whole bunch of money. At least I hope I don't. Also, this rod seal on the OEM part has a second, looks like a second O-ring that goes in the middle here, and you saw mine is all dried out, that green one. Anyways, these other parts look about the same, but I just wanted to comment on that. This is a $25 kit. I didn't get a $100 or $200 kit. So here is the cylinder rod, and we've had this apart. Take the nut back off. This is the piston, and there's a rubber O-ring that goes on there we'll have to change out. They've got this seal ring, which is this yellow one, and it's real stiff and hard to get on there, and you got to be careful not to break this. And then there's a rubber O-ring that goes underneath it. You'll see when we take this apart. So it's going to go on there like that. And then this is the packing or gland. And there's the seal I was just showing you. That's going to be metal back on there. A little challenging to get that out. And then the rod seal, which is that green one, that's all deteriorated. I'm sure that's where the leak's coming from. And then we have a backing seal here, and then an O-ring there, a rubber O-ring, and those are going to go like that. Just a little backer to hold the O-ring, and then the rubber seal, rubber O-ring goes on there. We'll do the piston first, and the main thing you want to be careful about, there's nothing in here that goes against the rod, but you don't want to scar or mark up the piston anywhere. So I am going to carefully, some people just cut these and remove them, and I might do that. That might be the best way to go. But I'm going to carefully remove these without scarring the piston. I think I'll do the least damage by just cutting this and removing it. And then there's a rubber O-ring underneath here. Feels like a little bit of a rough spot there. Wipe it off good. And I'm going to hit this with the little brake parts cleaner. Make sure it's real nice and clean. Wipe it off. Lubricate these parts with hydraulic fluid. I was told that hydraulic fluid has cleaners in it, and doesn't quite have the lubricating abilities that regular oil does, so I'm going to use some oil. I'll put the O-ring on first, and I'm just using a thin 3-in-1 oil, and we'll just slip this on. You want to be careful with rubber O-rings that you don't fold them and they get twisted in there. Now this is just basically to expand this and give a backer for this seal, but still I don't want to twist it, so I'm going to be careful to put this on without twisting it like that. And I'll just go around it, look, check, make sure it's okay. Now this seal, this is a tough one. It's stiff as can be. And I'm not advocating it, and not about this seal, but I've heard some of these other seals, you can put them in boiling water and make it easier. And again, you don't want to twist this one either. So I'm getting it in down here. I'm just going to try to work my way around and make sure I have plenty of oil up here, which I do. See how I've got that in already? That'll give me a little more space. And they've angled this at the top to help get that in. I'm getting there. And I'm finding to take your time and slowly stretch it works better than like an O-ring where you put it on quick. I want to be careful not to get it twisted. There, it's pushing in. So I go around like this. There we go. We got her. You don't want to force that. I mean, you have to force it. But you want to take your time with that one, or at least I did, and that's worked out best. I didn't take a screwdriver or anything and try to force it and bust something. And you can see that's nice and straight all the way around. I didn't twist it anywhere. All right, we got that one done. And on to the packing or gland. I'm going to take the wiper seal out first, and then I'll get the rod seal out after that. That'll give me a little more room to work in there if I have to get a pick in there or whatever. Now again, you want to be careful not to nick the outside or the metal in here. See, I'm starting to work my way up there. Oh, there it goes. And did not do any damage here. And lastly, I've got to get this rod seal out. And you can see that's all chewed up as I showed you before. There's that extra rubber O-ring I was telling you about that this has. And it comes, if you get the OEM kit, this is sitting right inside that U-cup seal. I'm just cleaning this out with the brake cleaner again. It looks pretty clean in there, feels clean. Now, we'll put this rod seal in first. There's a special tool that you can buy. I don't do this for a living, so I don't want to go out and buy a bunch of tools that I hardly ever use, if ever again. Maybe 3 more times, because I've got 3 other cylinders on there. But what it does is there's 3 fingers on it. And you put the 3 fingers like that, and you clamp it, and it squeezes this into a kidney shape to get that in there. And this U-cup seal faces down so that when it's working in the cylinder like this, the hydraulic fluid will press against the open end of that seal. That's how that works. If you had it the other way, the fluid could just push by here. I'm going to put that in and then use that as leverage to create my kidney. There we go. That's the thing. Well, I got it figured out for you. That's how you do it. And we did it without damage. Beautiful. Thank you, Lord. That was tough, but now I know how to do it. And now you know how to do it. And we'll put this wiper seal in. And this one faces up. So if you get the one with the metal backing, the metal goes down. And you might have to use a seal press to get that in. All right, now we'll do the backer and the O-ring. The backer goes up here. And then the backer here. And I just want to clean that up just a touch. Not going to get this on any of the other parts. Put some oil on here and some oil on these. We'll put the backer on first. Goes against the back. Not twisted at all. Now the O-ring. Good. And now the little O-ring for the rod. And that seal seems okay, but we'll change her out. Just going to throw a little painter's tape on here, which comes off real easy, so I don't mar the O-ring when I put it on. And I can throw this on. All right. Don't forget to put your snap ring on first. There we go. She's tight. And then the piston. And the nut. Now some people say to put thread locker on there, red, which is tough stuff. Other people say don't worry about it, don't put anything on it. I'll put a little blue on there. But this is sitting inside the cylinder, and I'm going to torque this down tight like it was, and I think it'll be okay. I'm just putting hydraulic fluid on here. Same thing that John Deere uses. And make sure your cylinder's clean and lubricated. Now I just have to gently tap this back in. Just far enough so I can get that snap ring back in. And there's a little groove you'll see in there. And that bottomed out, and I can see the groove. And you'll feel it. It'll bottom out like mine did. And then the groove's right there. I can see it where it bottomed out. And it's just a real light tap to tap that in. And this snap ring fits right in that groove. Let's go ahead and put it back on. There she is. Now all I need to do is fire it up, operate it. It'll bleed the lines itself. Check the hydraulic fluid, make sure I didn't lose too much and that that's topped off. Check for leaks, and I should be good to go. She's good to go. If this video was a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, other projects.